Welcome to Global Risk Community Chat. Today our guest is Shahmeer. I am very happy to have you here today on our podcast, Shahmeer. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Likewise. So before we get into our topic for today, can you briefly introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, sure. My name is Shahmeer Amir. I'm a cybersecurity expert and a bug bounty hunter. I'm the CEO of a company called Unite and the other company called Often. I have been doing bug bounty hunting for the past 7 years, and I am the author of 3 books that I've written on bug bounty hunting and cybersecurity.
Sounds actually quite interesting. Also a very interesting title, Bug Bounty Hunter. So let's then talk about this. So what exactly is bug bounty hunting and what can you share with us about this?
Sure. It's basically a field of cybersecurity in itself where researchers are invited to talk about, to basically research and find vulnerabilities in web applications and mobile applications. And they are then rewarded based on those vulnerabilities, based on the severity and criticality of those vulnerabilities.
Yeah, sounds good. So what are some key things then when it comes to bug bounty hunting? What do you look for? What do you search for?
Um, so we check for different kinds of vulnerabilities in bug bounty hunting. And when we're looking for bugs, we find any and all bugs that can allow us access to user data, or we can take over the server, or leak data, or take over user accounts. It all revolves around the fact that we're trying to access data, or access the application's infrastructure or the server's infrastructure at the back end.
Yeah. And can you share some more experience you had throughout this year as a bug bounty hunter?
Sure. Yeah, I do bug bounty hunting for, I've done them for 400 plus companies. And, based on my research, I'm ranked number third in the world. I'm also speaking at a conference called Black Hat next week, which is happening in Saudi, which is like the biggest and number one cybersecurity conference in the world. So, yeah, and my experiences are with Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Yahoo, Twitter, and all these big names.
And what has been so far some, maybe if you can share, of course, interesting user cases that you had that you were looking into, like if you can share some examples on some cases you had, maybe for our listeners to also look into if they have similar things to look into.
Yeah, well, one of the interesting vulnerability that I found was, in Airbnb. I was able to access user data of about 2 million users. In another case, I was able to find a way to bypass the two-factor authentication in one of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world. In another case, I found, my specialty is business logic vulnerabilities. So I look at web application from a logical perspective of security. Okay, if I were to change this parameter, what would happen? If I were to change that, what would happen? That's what I do.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Also, it sounds a bit like ethical hacking at the same time, because essentially you are trying to, figure out if you can.
Yeah, they're basically, similar. Ethical hacking and bug bounty hunting go hand in hand.
Yeah, but they are not the same thing, but just similar, and look for similar things from what I understand that.
No, they are pretty much the same. It's, ethical hacking is, when you hack someone and tell them, and bug bounty hunting is when you hack someone and tell them and they pay you for it. That's just it.
Okay, interesting difference, but essentially the same thing. I didn't know that, but yeah. So, what would be maybe some takeaway point that you can share with our viewers? Let's say if they are a risk manager, if they own a company and they are looking into, making their company, of course, more secure, more resilient with their cybersecurity. So, what can they look into? What can they start implementing?
Start a bug bounty program, number one. Read my book, number two. Contact my company, Velix, if you want to start a bug bounty program, we can help you in that. Hire better researchers. you know. And basically, the idea around this is if you want to start a bug bounty hunting program, you should hire someone who does bug bounty hunting, so that you can do it in a better way.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that as well. Is there anything else you want to add on?
No, nothing. It was very nice speaking to you today, and I hope we get to speak more. I know it was very brief and short, but it was. I hope it was helpful for the audience, and they can reach out to me at my email address. I'll give that to you. You can maybe put that in the link. If they want help in their cybersecurity or if they want to contact me. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that then. Indeed, it was a bit short, but all short things, also long things come to an end. It's short and yeah, efficient, I would say. But yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much for joining us
Thank you. Yeah.
today and have a lovely day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.